Just one other story, just on this unwelcoming, if this is interesting.
Him living with us for this first couple of days was just so tiring for me mentally. Just some details. I was in a hot dog costume.
It's expensive. It's expensive to buy tickets, for example, like plane tickets. Actually, we weren't together like during the Erasmus. Like we just started like talking to each other because I was already in a relationship and I didn't want to make anything wrong and like make like a step to someone when I am in a relationship. And but I started to have some feelings, and actually we started like really dating as a couple when we just met after the Erasmus. Actually, when we met in Paris, and I came to Antoine, and when I finished everything, and that was the moment when we really started dating.
We didn't put a name on what we will do when we will see each other, but it happened really naturally, and it's been more than 1 year and a few months already.
We had to face big decisions at the end of the academic year, and it was very difficult because you're kind of like a fresh couple. You don't know where it's going, like you don't know how serious it is and stuff, and you're forced to like have a conversation about something very serious, right? Like, so what are our plans for future or whatever, like when you don't really know what future brings.
And especially I think that if you decide to stay together, well, it's not just staying together and living in the same city, it's going through a long distance relationship that implies a lot of travel probably, and so it's an even bigger decision because of that.
But also we kind of went with the decision that, okay, like we like our relationship and we like each other. So let's just try to keep it as long as possible, but without making any big plans of like, you know, moving out or something like that. Like, let's see what we can do, because we were both students back then with our lives, with our plans. So it was not really possible to make like a huge commitment, but we decided, okay, like if there is a will, there is a way, basically.
So I remember just like 2 days before I left, I think he actually said the magic words to me just before I left. So that also put things a little bit more serious. And he I think he booked a ticket to Poland back then, even before I left.
Not certain. Maybe.
But it was like we didn't know what comes out of it. We weren't like setting like huge plans or expectations. We just wanted to carry it out. But
I think also it wasn't really a question of whether we wanted to. It was more whether it was practically possible. The first day I was there, I thought I was going to get like a very soft introduction to the whole family. And within 10 minutes, there was 7 people in the room. And I was just like, Chwilę. Just running away. Yeah, it's interesting.
I mean, actually, my parents met him first time on Erasmus because they came to visit me for a few days. And they came literally the next day after we first kissed. So it was all very confusing, you know. And then they stayed for a couple of days, and during this time there was one party that I left them to be like walk off on their own, and went to this party that actually hadn't organized. So it was Halloween, and then we were already kissing in this party because there were beginnings and stuff. And then my parents were actually walking by the place where this party was, which I had no idea.
They were sitting across the beach, they were like watching a film, just like.
So this is kind of how they found out, but they did not tell me that at the time. They told me that many weeks or even months later.
It's just some details. I was in a hot dog costume. Halloween, right? So I'm in a hot dog costume at a Halloween party. We're kissing, and then her parents are just like, in a distance, like what? Yeah, crazy.
My family is really close together, and she got to meet uncles, cousins, grandparents, and everything. And of course, not everybody speaks English, which brought to a very funny situation with the uncle asking 20 times during the dinner, "Can you translate this to Nadia? Can you translate it to Nadia?" And step by step, they get to know her with translation, which is cool.
There's this thing that if you're coming to visit each other, you live in two different countries. And in our cases, we were both living with our parents during studies. You're being hosted by the family of your boyfriend, so it's kind of hardcore. It's not like going for a meal for the evening to get to know each other. Like, no, you share like space with them. You're like your guest in their house for 5 days, and they're all the time around, and it's very intense, I would say.
It's expensive. It's expensive to buy tickets, for example, like plane tickets. And also COVID helped us a little bit because we could study and finish our like second semester online, so we could be like we could be together, and it was kind of cool.
Literally, if Skype wasn't free, then I don't know what I did.
I overused Skype so much.
Like 12
which is probably another
per
thing
day.
to talk about, but yeah.
It was like the welcoming days of Trinity College. We just got to talk. We went to the bar with friends at the evening, and since that day we didn't stop talking much, I think.
Yes, and also we created like our group of friends like from this date, and like we had a time to meet each other every day almost, and we also like had the chance to talk a little bit more.
We met, as Roxana said, in Crete, in Greece, during our Erasmus, and I actually remember that Roxana, the first time she met me, she found me pretty, what was the word you used? Scary?
Scary, like, I don't know, not friendly.
Yeah, our first contact was not amazing. But then, we were part of this big group of friends, so we got the opportunity to know each other better and to exchange a lot, and we discovered that we're not so scary and unfriendly that we thought at first.
Yeah. No, it was just the first impression, like.
Yeah. And then after that, we actually spent a few months being friends. And one day we were going to cinema with a third friend, that did not come to the cinema because he was sick, I think, I recall. And yeah, so we got kind of ended up in this situation that we're just left the two of us, and we used this evening to know each other better. So yeah, that's how we kind of discovered that there could be more than friendship between us.
I booked a hotel, or the place we were staying, and 3 days before I was due to go on Erasmus, I called the guy, and I was like, "Hey, the day before we were due to go on Erasmus, I called the guy, and I was like, "Hey, I'm coming tomorrow in Greece." So I should clarify, Erasmus in Greece, in Crete. And I was like, "Hey, I'm coming tomorrow." And he said, "Oh, that's great. Where are you staying?" And I was thinking, what's going on? And he said, "Oh, well, the room's not available. The room you booked is not available for about a week." So he then asked Eva, who was staying there, if I could stay with her and her roommate. And then she wasn't really too keen, and the roommate. So there was something about cats. Like she tried to say, "Oh, we've got a cat, and it's not good. Don't stay here." And what she didn't realize was I had a cat at the time, and I was like, "Yeah, I love cats, so it's no problem." So she was out of excuses. So I came as a very unhappy, unwelcomed thing. Just one other story, just on this unwelcoming, if this is interesting. I was on the beach myself, and when I go on the beach, I run into the sea like a child, and they saw me from a distance, and they moved away on the beach from me, from a long distance. So it's not a joke. So from that weird context, some sort of love blossomed.
But no, the context is important here. So I was trying to avoid Hayden because my English wasn't like as good back
I forgot
then.
about that. Yeah.
So I had to, like, so much of my brain capacity was going into, like, you know, focusing on what he's saying, on replying. Like, I had to translate everything in my head one way and another. So I really, like, him living with us for this first couple of days was just so tiring for me mentally. And he's very talkative. He talks a lot.
Yeah.
Just to be open and listen yourself and listen your heart and mind, and because everything can happen and we cannot plan it, and I'm the person who likes planning and likes to have everything like prepared and knows what is going to be in the future. So I went to the Erasmus and it was like different.
You should not try to block each other because of this kind of Erasmus atmosphere or Erasmus I don't know, mood. Like, you should really go for it if there is a connection, and not thinking, oh, but how it will be in the future, I don't want to get involved in a relation because then I will be gone, etc. Like, you should really go for it, and as Roxana was saying, when there's a will, there's a way, and you're always managing it up, even if there is no money, there is no time, it's always complicated, but you're always managing it.
Just fucking go for it. Like, it's the best thing that ever could have happened to me, honestly. Like, all of this cultural stuff, it's opened my mind as well. So yeah, completely go for it, and you know, don't think too much when it's happening. Enjoy it while it's happening. It may not be possible to keep going. It might be. So just enjoy the process.
And don't have like expectations afterwards.
Yeah.
What happens in Erasmus stays in Erasmus. Sometimes.
Sometimes.